This for educational purposes and entertainment only. If y'all notice, it's trending all over the internet whether Dave Chappelle is a clone or if it's still the old original Dave Chappelle. I know that sounds crazy, but you know, a lot of things sound crazy. But what if I told y'all I got proof that Dave Chappelle is a clone? First of all, I dropped a couple videos with his cousin telling her side of the story. But I'm going to go further than that. Like I said, here's the proof. Do y'all remember when Jim Brewer just recently went on Rosie podcast and he said this?
What happened between you two? Did you fall out? Or did you just go different ways?
No. We I think different ways, but I'll put something out there that I don't know if when we were filming a movie, and he also had a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
From HBO and or not HBO, Comedy Central, and all this shit, right?
The worst bunch of people on earth.
Horrid.
Mm-hmm.
He then, while he was on the show, when it was blowing up, and we remember the Aspen Comedy Festival? I don't know.
Yeah, that was fun. I did that too.
He came there, and he was freaked out.
Now y'all just heard what the man said. He said Dave Chappelle came in the office and he was pissed. And this is one of Dave Chappelle close friends. They've been friends all the way back from when they did the movie Half Baked. They was friends way before then. So this guy really knows Dave Chappelle. And again, he said that Dave Chappelle came in the office and he was pissed. Go back to what Dave Chappelle cousin said.
And so with that, when David left out of that office, David called me. Now, I don't know whether he called his brother William or not. I don't know anything about that. But David called me and told me everything that they said to him in the executive office. David told me everything from A to Z. And what David told me, it caused me to get a headache. If I had been in that room, and it would have scared the hell out of me, because it in fact scared the hell out of David Chapelle.
Okay, so now we got two different people practically saying the same thing about how Dave Chappelle felt after he met with these executive people. So now let's continue.
Yeah. I said, what's going on? And all I could say is he was visited.
Yeah. That's what I think too.
And when he told me who visited him, my heart stops for a second. I'm like, get the fuck. And I'll never forget, he went, you believe me, right? You believe me, Jim, right? And I could, he's like, they came to me. And he said the names. I'm like, get the fuck. And what happened? And then all of a sudden, he went to Africa.
Wow, that's crazy. Did Jim Brewer just say Africa? Did he just say Dave Chappelle all of a sudden went to Africa? Let's run that back. Let's hear him again.
And he said the names. I'm like, get the fuck. And what happened? And then all of a sudden, he went to Africa.
Okay, so Jim Brewer did say Dave Chappelle all of a sudden went to Africa. That's believable because this is what Dave Chappelle cousin said.
And David told me, upon talking to me, he said, cuz, I got to go. And I said, you got to go? He said, yes, I got to get out of here. I said, well, David, out of here where? He said, I'm going to Africa. And he said, I said, well, David, you're going to Africa? He said, I got to get my head clear. There's things. He said, I just have to have my own peace of mind. And I said, well, have you told? He said, well, what about Elaine, David? He said, well, I'll deal with Elaine. I'll call Elaine later. He said, but right now, I got to go.
Okay, so now we got two different people, both saying Dave Chappelle felt that he had to get the hell out of the United States after meeting with these people. So, and what's so crazy about it, Dave Chappelle's cousin told her side of the story years ago. Jim Brewer just recently told his story when he was on Rose's show. So let's continue.
Yeah, that's what I remember happening. But they never really said what happened. Were you threatened? I mean, I don't know how much you want.
I don't have.
You can't.
I guess.
Now, let me just pause right here. Even Rosie is being extremely cautious about what's being said. Let me roll that back.
Well, he threatened? I mean, I don't know how much you want.
I don't have.
You can't say.
Now notice that Roseanne immediately cut Jim off. Hey, don't even say the names. Don't even say the names of the people that's behind this. And I got a bombshell at the end of the video. It's gonna blow y'all mind, but you know the names of these people are very important. Who visit Dave Chapelle and made these threats towards him and his family? Let's continue.
It's none of my business.
Okay.
But I know for a fact
He was corrected.
he said correct.
Yeah.
He was, hey, by whoever it was.
Mhm.
Hey,
I won't ask.
we need to have a conversation. Would you like some of your own coffee in your house? What? Yeah, like that heavy shit. And that's the first time, you know, I would. It's, and so when I saw him come back, there was a lot less communication.
Okay, now we know that Dave Chapelle and Jim Brewer were best friends. Let's fast forward to Dave Chapelle returning from Africa. Jim Brewer just said when Dave Chapelle returned from Africa, he didn't have no he didn't even want to communicate with him. It was like, wow, we was just best friends. What's going on? Now listen to Dave Chappelle's cousin.
Well, let me say this. I had not heard from David when he was supposed to have met with the executives the second time, and Dave promised me and assured me he would call me to let me know the outcome. I have not heard from David since. When I turned my television on and I saw this man there on some kind of show, and he had one pants leg rolled all the way down and the other one rolled all the way up, and they said this was Dave Chapelle. I said, Dave, who?
Okay, so now we got Dave Chappelle's cousin and Jim Brewer, his best friend, both saying that this is a different guy. Hey, we don't know who this person is when he returned back. And his cousin, on the other hand, saying, you know, they went from being best cousins, damn near like brothers and sisters, and then all of a sudden, this new Dave Chappelle just cut off communication. Nah, that's strange. Let's continue.
And maybe he just, you know, maybe he just grows, whatever. But I can honestly say, and maybe I'm crazy for, and I am crazy for saying this.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw him completely come back, I really questioned if that was him.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, so even Roseanne didn't even believe that that was the real Dave Chappelle when she saw him again. Just like his best friend, Jim Brewer, he said it. But notice Jim Brewer said he even questioned if that's the real Dave Chappelle. Listen to what Dave Chappelle's cousin said.
And I went to the television and I looked and I said, hell no, that ain't no David Chapelle or no Dave Chappelle. No, hell no. And so I got on the cell phone and I called my cousin David. And I called, the phone rang and it rang and it rang. I think it was maybe on the fourth or fifth ring that someone picked up the telephone and said, hello. I said, yeah, let me speak to David. And the person on the other end said, who are you? I said, I'm David Chappelle's cousin. And the phone clicked.
All right, now, let me close this thing out with this bombshell. I want y'all to listen very closely to what's about to be said. Listen very closely to Jim Brewer.
And all I could say is he was visited.
Yeah. That's what I think too.
And when he told me who visited him, my heart stops for a second. I'm like, get the fuck. And I'll never forget, he went, you believe me, right? You believe me, Jim, right? And I could, he's like, they came to me. And he said the names. I'm like, get the fuck.
Now here's the big question. Here's the $1 million question. Who was it that visited and threatened Dave Chappelle? His cousin told us. Remember when she said this?
Well, David was receiving threatening letters. He received a package in the mail. It was Bill Cosby. It was who was another one? It was Bill Cosby. It was even Al. That's why I don't like Al Sharpton today. It was Bill Cosby, Al Sharpton. It was Whoopi Goldberg, and it was a few others that was into putting the pressure on David to stop this thing with the black race. Now that was before, and it was even afterwards.
Bam, so there it is. But I got one question. Don't y'all think if that was the real Dave Chapelle, with all the allegations that his family member and best friend is making, don't y'all think he would have addressed that? Leave y'all thoughts in the comments. I'm out. Peace.